up, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here, back with all the news after Week 6 in Year 4 of our Columbus Aviators franchise, where the Aviators picked up a loss to their division rival, the Indianapolis Colts, and our defense struggled mightily. The question going into the game was really focused more on the offense and the injuries we've suffered over there. However, our defense really dropped the ball. Andrew Luck completed 90%, or roughly 90% of his passes, and that is just unacceptable. Despite that, the Aviators were still in a position to win the game, but the Colts made a good defensive play towards the end to seal the victory for them. However, if you look over here, our division is still anybody's game. No team has more than 3 wins. In fact, all teams have 3 wins. The Colts only have 2 losses, though, and they've won 3 in a row, so they're definitely starting to pick it up a little bit. But this is still anybody's division. And the next 2 games for us are going to be incredibly important because obviously they're both division games, and that could really shape the playoffs. So overall, things are not bad shape for us right now. The injuries definitely suck, the losses definitely suck, but we do get Mariota back next week. If we can survive one more game without him, I feel pretty comfortable with the rest of our team moving forward. So we should be a good over there. I do need to adjust the a few things, but we'll look at that in a second. Let's go ahead and get to scouting first and take care of this. Unscouted, and we're in the 6th round now, so let's scroll down here a little bit and start working on some of these guys, see if we see a cool name. I scrolled through off camera. I don't think there's an Appalachian State guy, which bums me out, man. I'm having a difficult time finding Appalachian State players for this. We did get Bradford. He's been pretty good for us, but he's a backup. Like, I'd love to get a huge Appalachian State star on my team, like one that I draft. It's very rare that I've been able to find a player like that in one of my franchises, but I guess Weisler Moats did okay, but you guys know what I mean. So here we go, get these last few points, and that's going to be it for us. Okay, so let's go over here now, and I don't think we've seen the Texans lineup yet. We haven't played them, so let's go ahead and check that out before we get going. And we know that they have a good young quarterback. Now, we did not see this guy last year. He was injured for both of our meetings against the Texans. But Dalton Crosby appears to be healthy, a second-year pro out of Wisconsin, 81 overall. Is that Blake Blake? Is that Blake Blake? It is Blake Blake! What? They had a Blake Blake? Nice. Monte Ball, I forgot about that. Here's James Starks at fullback. They have Owens at wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, great young player, Jalen Strong, Marquise Lee, Andrew Jordan, and Desmond Lewis, a very young receiving core there. Kobe Fleener and Joel Birch going to be the tight ends. Dwayne Brown at left tackle. Getting up there in age, though. Reed at left guard. At center, they have De La Puente out of California. Brandon Brooks at right guard. So a very good offensive line. Right tackle could be better, but they have an injury that they are dealing with there. Overall, a really good offensive line. And then, of course, J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. I just screwed that first name up. I know I've done it before. I don't know. Clowney, you guys know what I mean. Powers and McDonald. Jadavian. Why do I forget that? Like, I've always known this, and just now I'm blanking on it for some reason. I apologize for pronouncing it wrong. I know some people dislike that. I apologize. Forgive me. And then they have LaRon Mack, a Mack attack brother at linebacker. I do like to see that. It looks like he's going to be playing more of a backup role here, though. Kareem Jackson, Janoris Jenkins. So this is a good team. Martell Moss out of USC, and Johnson's going to be injured for him here. Marquest and Huff trading teams within the division, going over there to be the free safety, and then Rashad Jones. This is a good team. In fact, I would say this is probably the best team we've played yet. I don't know why their record is 3-3. Maybe their young quarterback's not quite getting it done, but this is definitely a pretty solid roster right here. So one thing I want to change before we advance is we need to adjust the sliders. Now, I've been kind of iffy on this one because the opposing teams are just struggling mightily against running the ball against our defense, and our defense is not that good that the opponents should not be able to. Like, they're all being held, like, under 2 yards a carry, I feel like. That's ridiculous. The issue is we haven't really gone against an elite running back or an elite offensive line yet, so I don't know if that is part of it or if it's a slider issue. But either way, I'm going to move it up. We'll try moving it up to 70 first. And then, of course, after that last game, I believe we need to move this down because 90% completion, that is just absolutely silly. I do want to turn interceptions up for both teams here. Our team has not gotten many interceptions at all this season. I don't like that a whole lot. Move this down some more. Just going through the list here. I know people want me to move the injuries down, but you know what? Injuries happen in real life. There are teams that have seasons get decimated by injuries. That's a real life thing. And if it happens, it sucks. Nobody wants to see the Aviators have a promising roster and miss the playoffs because of injuries. But you know what? That's what the NFL is. They have to deal with that kind of stuff. Holding, we rarely see called now. I wouldn't mind moving that up. We'll try that at 40. And then I said I was going to move the pass interference down. That is definitely something that I do want to lower. I just don't want the Madden cheese plays, and I feel like I've been getting quite too many of those. I don't mind it if it's called here and there. I would accept it more, but it was getting called like 4 or 5 times a game. And it's always those deep routes I feel like that it gets called on. So let's try this out. Hopefully this will play out a little better. I feel like those sliders should definitely help us a little more, but we'll give it a shot. Everybody always asks me though, like, why don't you ever post your sliders? Because I do it there all the time. You just don't look for it. I don't know what to tell them. Russell Wilson, 28 of 43 passing touchdowns, 323 yards for him. Zach Brown with 16 tackles. James Leonidas, 13 tackles and a interception. And then Andrew Luck against us, 30 of 34, 428 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. That was just silly. Like, he just completely torched our defense. And we need to get our guys in coverage. Like, it's silly when they're completing that many of their passes. And you know what? The few that they didn't complete were actually, like, their guys were kind of open. They just got hit at the wrong time and dropped the pass. I know that happened at least once. But anyway, the Aviators, they need to get a victory here. We're still in the race either way. If we can somehow pick up a victory here, we should be good. We'll get Marcus Mariota back. Not having him really does hurt our team, guys. You know, Kerry Patrick, there's a lot of times he just missed open throws. The other thing that I've noticed quite a lot is that Curtis Harden just does not get open on those deep routes anymore. Year one, it just happened all the time. I have not been able to get him open at all. I have been looking. I know people feel like I'm underutilizing him. I'm not trying to. If you guys pay attention, whenever he does a deep route, he's just covered relentlessly, and it's very difficult. So we need to find a way to get him more involved. Changing the playbook and getting a new coach at the end of the season is something people have suggested, and that is something that we might do if we don't see growth from this team. I would be cool with the new playbook. I do think that needs to happen. In fact, I might do that now. Let's do it. I know it's not incredibly realistic to change your playbook in the middle of the season, but we need a new playbook. I'm not really feeling that. Let's go with Philadelphia's, and we're going to do this for a reason. Because Chip Kelly knows what Marcus Mariota likes. And this is not because the 49ers hired Chip Kelly. I'm actually not much of a Chip Kelly fan. But that offense might work out for us. So we're going to give that a shot. We'll just try to change it up. Because I am a little tired of those plays. Not quite getting it done. I'm also going to be more mindful of not pitching the ball out a whole lot. I know somebody said something about that. So I am listening to you guys. I don't want you to think otherwise. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in Week 7 as we take on the Houston Texans. Later.